Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Argo Sports Insider. I'm Will Kennedy, your host, and this is the home for UWF Athletics. We are shining the light on all the fantastic things that are going on with our Argo teams. We'll get to know our student athletes a little and our coaches and staff as well. Hopefully, we'll have a little fun along the way. We've got a lot to talk about this week, so let's start things off in the pool. UWF Swimming and Diving has done it again. The 6th-ranked nationally Argos won their 4th straight conference title last week, capturing the New South Intercollegiate Crown up in Cleveland, Mississippi. Coaches Phil Krause and Barbara Parker were both honored as coaches of the meet, and Olivia Nelson was the diver of the meet after capturing the 3-meter board honors. The Argos outscored second-place Delta State by more than 400 points.
Well, obviously, anytime you win a conference championship, it's a great thing. The girls have worked hard all year long, both swimming and diving, and to be able to go through with a 4th championship in a row is pretty special. Doesn't happen a lot, and really from the beginning that was our goal. But also, we really wanted to try to push it to where we could try to sort of talked about setting the record as far as the most points and things like that. So which we were able to achieve, which is also great. So it's just nice to be able to go to a meet, and it's 9 sessions, so 4.5 days. So every session's like a new game, and you just got to get up for it. And you always have your lulls, but the girls did good overall throughout the whole time. And we weren't really even firing all cylinders. We had some times that weren't so great, and some really good swims back and forth, and some good dives back and forth. But overall, it was a great weekend, and just happy to come back and have another one for the Argos. Steffi's been great all 4 years. She's made NCAAs every year. First time was like on a relay. Now we're going individuals and stuff, and she has a chance to score some points, and she's just improved every single year. I mean, her 100 fly, the 54.09 that she went is our 2nd fastest time ever, and that's over a 2nd drop from last year. And that doesn't happen a lot in college. And so it's really nice to see her continue to improve, and she's got even more in her, so hopefully we can get a little bit more out of her in 2 weeks at NCAAs. I mean, all of our divers did great. We had all 6 divers in the top 8 of both boards. That's amazing to have every year. And to have a diver of the year as a freshman with Olivia was amazing. Nationals is always a difficult meet because we have to retaper. So we only get 2 weeks to kind of come back up and go back down. But a lot of new people going, so it'll be an experience shift for them. We'll be able to try some different restaurants and do different things, and it's a different experience. Indianapolis, one of the best pools in the country, so it's really neat to go up there and see all the history and do that stuff. It's great sports towns too as well. So I think it's about the competition, obviously, but also the experience of it, and really setting up hopefully our freshmen that are going to be able to go year after year after year and continue to keep Argos on the rise.
The team has a few weeks now to prep up for the NCAA D2 championships. Those take place March 7th through the 11th up in Indiana. It is the final week of the regular season for UWF basketball. Both teams played 2 games at home last week, hosting Auburn Montgomery and Montevallo. The women swept both matchups, with Jacqueline Jarnett putting up 25 points with 19 rebounds in a 63-54 win over the Warhawks. Jaden Langford and Zoe Pillar also scored in double figures in that game. Jarnett then went for 14 points and 15 boards in a 70-63 win over Montevallo on Senior Day. Claire Sutherland Case had 10 points in that victory.
Coming off of last week was great to be back on our home floor. I feel like in the month of February, we've been on the road a lot. So players were excited to be back in the field house, celebrating really 2 great events. On Thursday against AUM, we had our Play for K, our breast cancer awareness game, which really turned out to be a phenomenal night. We had really good fan support, and I thought our team played really well that day. And then we turned around, 2 days later and honored our seniors on Senior Day against Montevallo. And so an emotional, obviously, day for those 3 seniors, getting to start the game together and obviously finish the game with a win was super special for that group. But it was nice to have those home games, let our fans get back in the field house to kind of cheer us on as we finish the season. Yeah, I think this is, 2 very big trap games for us. I mean, you can look at the conference rankings and say, well, these 2 teams are below you in the rankings right now, but these 2 teams have something to play for. Huntsville is playing their way into the conference tournament. And then, of course, you turn right back around, you've got to play West Alabama, which, here in the field house was the most physical game of the season. I think we can expect the same a physical, drag out, knockdown game on their senior day, and with West Al also having opportunities to play their way into a higher seed into the conference tournament. So I think that's the hard part about going on the road here at the end of the season, that you're playing teams that have something to fight for. We've got something to fight for as well, but being on the road and in their home gyms is going to be an extra challenge this week.
The Argos are now 19-6 overall. They are 18-4 in GSC play. Jarnett is the Gulf South Conference Player of the Week for the third time this season. And the regular season wraps up this week with games at Alabama Huntsville and West Alabama. The women, though, will host a GSC tournament game, so they'll be back in the Fieldhouse at least one more time. That's a quarterfinal game coming up February 28th. Men's basketball split their 2 games last week, with the Argos falling just short against AUM. Dell Matthews and Daniel Sofield both had 20 points in that game and helped spark a big comeback. It just wasn't enough in a 70-65 loss. The Argos bounced back with a huge effort on senior day against Montevallo. Sofield with a career-high 31 points, Latrell Tate adding 27, Matthews scored 16, and Channick Nakoma had 10 in the 102-79 victory.
The Saturday game was tremendous. It was really how we thought we could play this year. Guys were very aggressive. We made shots. We got great shots. Defensively, thought locked in really well, did a good job of taking away some things that they do. And I just really thought we played probably the best 40 minutes that we played this year on both sides of the ball, and we were pretty consistent throughout the game. And that's kind of what we've been working towards, trying to be consistent offensively and defensively, and we really put it together on Saturday and played well. Well, just a great day for our seniors. I thought all of our seniors played really well and got to play a lot. And especially happy for Daniel because he had a couple of back-to-back games that he played very, very well in, got GSC Player of the Week, and very deserving. And that's our second guy now this year that's made Player of the Week. So excited for Daniel. Thought he really finished the season at home in great fashion. Well, we know we got a big challenge this week. We go play number 1 and number 2, both teams ranked in the regional rankings, and both good teams. But if we play like we did Saturday, we can play with anybody in the league. So hopefully have a couple of great days of practice and go over there and just play as well and as hard as we can. Well, with Huntsville, it's definitely taking away their transition and getting to their shooters. They shoot the ball awfully well. They're one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the league. And if you let them get going, they can really make shots. So you got to take that away. And then with West Alabama, you got to be able to score because they're just the opposite. They really defend you. So we've got kind of both sides of the spectrum this week on how we got to play and who we're playing. But if we play like we played Saturday and attack the press and attack them defensively and then turn around and be locked in with what we're trying to do on the other side of the ball, we'll be in the game.
Yeah, it's really just simple as I finally made some shots. Kind of struggled with that so far this year. I haven't shot as well as I hoped this year. But, Saturday I was able to hit shots at a good rate. So it was definitely good, and it was good to get a win on senior night. We're feeling better. We know that we're playing much better than we were in the beginning of the year. And we know how important these last 2 games are. We got to win both to get in. So we're going to bring the intensity and hopefully come out with 2 wins and get into the tournament. Yeah, we just got to execute. When we execute, we run our stuff, we move the ball. We're a really hard team to beat, regardless of what our record says. So I think we just take care of those things and play good defense against these 2 good teams. I think we can do something special this week and get in.
Coach Jeff Burkhammer's squad is now 13-13 on the season with a 9-13 mark in conference play. The men are also on the road this week at UAH and West Al. There was no shortage of excitement over the weekend up at the UWF baseball and softball complex. Baseball brought Florida Tech to the Spoon for a 3-game series. The Argos broke out the bats in a big way in the opener, pounding out 16 runs on 16 hits. Darian McDowell went 3 for 4 and bashed his 3rd home run of the season in a 16-2 win. The 2 teams split the Saturday doubleheader. Florida Tech took the first game in a 2-0 pitcher's duel. But UWF bounced back to win the 2nd game and the series with a 9-0 final.
Yeah, it starts with the starting pitching, as you said, and our pitchers did great all weekend long. And Mandershide didn't have a lot to show for that first game. He did an outstanding job, and we gave up the late home run there. But we had opportunities, midway through that game where we could attack some runs, had runners at 2nd and 3rd, less than 2 outs, and just didn't get the job done, and it came back to bite us. Challenged them about responding after that first game today, and they did, and we came out and had the big, 4-run first inning. Mark Townsend in the DH spot there that third game today, was really a jolt for us, had 4 RBIs, and, we had some guys up and down the lineup contributing, but, you always need to have a couple guys in there to have big days for you, and that's what happened for us, and we opened up the lead nicely. And Posey did a great job, had a no-no going in there for 6-7 innings, and, the starting pitching and the defense has been outstanding. Boy, we made a lot of great plays today, saved us in a lot of run-scoring positions there. You got to tip your cap to the defense and the pitching. That's what we talk about, hanging our hat on. And then we had some timely hitting, obviously. You hate to let that first one get away, but you win the series, that's always the goal.
UWF is now 7-2 on the year. They will travel to Union for a series this weekend. Softball was finally home at the Fork, hosting Flagler for a Saturday double dip. The Argos took the first game 3-0 with a Montana Young going 7 strong shutout innings in the circle. The second game, it was a wild one. UWF trailed 7-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning, then ripped off 5 runs, all with 2 outs to tie the game before walking it off in the 8th inning on an Emma Bryce 3-run blast.
It was an awesome day. I mean, my hitters had my back when I was out on the field. My pitchers were working. I trust my coach. The conference this year, I mean, it's going to be tough, but I think we have a really good team, and we're hungry. It's our comeback season, so we're really hungry and we're ready.
Honestly, I was just like, I just want to get the ball on the ground, short to it. I had like a couple long swings earlier that led me to a strikeout, so I was like, just see ball, hit ball, kind of look for my pitch. Yeah, no big deal. I mean, like the thing is, like we just have each other lift each other up. We have girls that are older. We have good leaders on the team. And they just know, like, hey, it doesn't matter how much we're down by. We always have a chance to come back, just like tonight.
Man, it was exciting. We're still trying to figure out our bats and being consistent with it, but this team, it showed a lot of fight tonight, and it was fun to watch. And I told them when we were in Orlando, we have 18 kids on this team, and it takes every single one of them. So it's really fun to see that fight. This program is known to have some big comebacks, so it was exciting to have that game on our home field going into conference.
The Argos improved to 6-4 on the season. With that pair of victories, they will play at Union this weekend. UWF Tennis opened the Gulf South Conference schedule up on the road. Both the men and women sweeping matches with Shorter winning at every position up and down the lineup. The 8th-ranked men and 22nd-ranked women, though, both ran into some trouble against Lee on Saturday, with both teams falling 4-3 to the Flames in some tough matches. Both teams are on the road again this week with matches against Christian Brothers, Harding, and Delta this weekend. The 30th-ranked UWF women's golf team posted its 6th top 10 finish of the season with a solid showing at the Florida Southern Lady Mocs Classic down in Lakeland this week. Sophomore Aaliyah Skotka finished 7th in the individual scoring as she continues a strong start this spring. The women will be back on the course for the Emerald Coast Classic in Destin. That comes our way in mid-March. Spring football. Everything is happening down at Penn Air Field with the Argos working towards the spring game, which comes to us on March 9th. The team put on the pads for the first time this week, and the coaching staff, they've got a little bit of a theme for the spring. It's all about competition.
I want these guys to know that every single thing they do is a competition, whether they're cleaning up their locker first, whether they're in the weight room, whether they're on the field. Everything is about competing and being the best person, the man in the mirror approach that we talk about every day.
We end practice every day with a competition, try to compete every day, get better, make each other better. We actually start with a competition too. Just try to, get your legs right, work, things like that.
I love it. I love ending the practice that way. I've always started to practice that way, so I love to compete, and I know these guys love to compete. So any way we can get that in practice, before practice or after practice, I know these guys love it, so do I.
And that is a look at all that we have going on for this edition of Argo Sports Insider. Don't forget, GoArgos.com is your online home for all things UWF athletics. Check out the latest news and notes, schedules, rosters, and tons of other good stuff. You can also follow us with the Argo Armada app on your phone or tablet, and you can find that and download it in either the Apple or Google App Store. And we are all over social media. Don't forget to follow and engage with your favorite Argo teams. We'll see you next time, and as always, go Argos!